Attraction is strategy. And most men get that strategy completely wrong. They think attraction is about chasing a woman, proving how much they care, explaining how nice or different they are. They think it's about being available, replying fast, making her laugh constantly, and giving everything they can. But if you've lived long enough, you already know the truth. You can do all of that and she will still pull away. She will still become colder. She will still lose interest. Why? Because attraction doesn't come from overgiving, it doesn't come from chasing, and it doesn't come from begging for approval. If you've ever found yourself stuck in the same cycle, texting first, being the one who tries hardest, trying to prove yourself, this message is for you, because I want to shift the way you think about attraction forever. This isn't about pickup lines, this isn't about cheap tricks, and this isn't about faking confidence. This is deeper. This is about power, how you move, how you position yourself, how you show up in every interaction, not just with women, but with the world. And today, I'm going to share with you 5 Machiavellian rules of attraction, principles that change how women experience you, both in real life and online. By the end, you'll understand why what you were doing before didn't work, and you'll know exactly how to move differently. So let's get into it. Rule 1. Be the man. She can't fully let me tell you the truth, most men never learn. Predictability kills attraction. When a woman knows exactly what you'll say, exactly how you'll respond, exactly how fast you'll reply to her text, you've already lost the one thing that fuels desire: mystery. Machiavelli said, people don't respect what they fully understand, they respect what they cannot fully predict. Think about that. If you're too obvious with your feelings, if you overshare everything, if you constantly validate her without her earning it, she won't feel curious. She'll feel in control. And when she feels in control, she doesn't chase. In real life, don't be the guy who lays out his entire life story on the first date. Don't be the guy who texts good morning every single day before she's even shown consistent interest. Don't panic and double text if she hasn't replied in 4 hours. Instead, give space. Let silence do some of the work. Respond when it makes sense. Not just because you're afraid of losing her, because here's the paradox. When she doesn't always know what you're thinking, she thinks about you more. And that is power. Rule 2. Online. Less is more now. Let's talk about your online presence. Because in today's world, attraction isn't just built face-to-face, it's built in the digital world, too. Here's what most men do wrong online. They post constantly. They flood stories with every moment of their life. They comment under every photo. They try to force attention. But Machiavelli understood power is perception. And when it comes to perception online, less is more. If she sees you posting every hour, if your energy screams, look at me, you don't attract her, you make her scroll. Instead, think of your online presence like a mirror of your real life, rare, valuable, focused. A single post that shows something meaningful in your life, a story that makes her pause for a second, a profile that feels clean and intentional. That's enough. You don't want her to think, wow, he's always here. You want her to think, what's he up to? Remember, in a world of noise, silence is seductive. Rule 3. Stop explaining, stop defending. This one is big. Most guys destroy attraction because they're constantly explaining themselves. They say something bold, she gives them a look, and immediately, they start backtracking. They apologize for small things that don't even need apology. They over-explain why they're different from other guys. But let me tell you something, when you defend yourself constantly, you put her in the role of judge, and you become the one begging for approval. That's not attractive. That's exhausting. Here's the shift. If you say something and she teases you, just smile and say, you'll figure me out later. If she asks why you didn't reply right away, say, I don't rush things I care about. That's it. No panic. No paragraphs. No explaining. Because confidence isn't about being loud, it's about being unbothered by misunderstanding. The man who doesn't feel the need to explain himself every second, that's the man who feels intriguing. And women chase what they can't fully figure out. Rule 4. Be emotionally selective, not needy. Now, let's talk about emotions. Because this is where most men get trapped. Yes, you're allowed to care. You're allowed to feel. But Machiavellian attraction is about one key skill: emotional control. If every time she's cute, you melt. If every time she pulls away, you panic and chase. If every time she's cold, your mood collapses, That's not romance. That's emotional reactivity. And in Machiavellian terms, you've just given away your leverage, because the moment your peace of mind depends on her behavior, you lose power. The dynamic becomes unbalanced. She has nothing to prove. You're the one carrying all the weight. Instead, be emotionally selective. Compliment when it's earned, not just because you're desperate for her smile. Match her energy instead of always overgiving. Don't fake indifference, just stop giving 100% to someone giving 40%. Practical example, she starts texting dry. Instead of writing a long paragraph, just slow down your replies. She flakes last minute. Don't beg, just say, all good, and move on. Attraction doesn't come from being available for everything. It comes from her wondering what part of you she really has access to. Rule 5. Build your power, so she feels lucky to get your time. This last rule changes everything. The reason most guys chase is because they have nothing else filling their life. They're not building anything. They're not focused on their purpose. So they pour all their energy into one woman they barely know. But Machiavelli would laugh at that, because the strongest form of attraction is when someone feels you're already fulfilled and you don't need them, but you still choose them. When you're building your life, your craft, your fitness, your business, your mission, you move differently. You don't text out of boredom. You don't overshare your pain. You don't give all your time away, because you already have direction. And here's the secret. Women feel that. They feel the difference between a man who's available to everyone and a man who is selective because his time is valuable. When you have your own mission, you don't need to act mysterious. Your life itself makes you magnetic. Real-life applications. Let's make this practical, because rules are useless if you don't know how to apply them. Scenario 1. You're on a date. She tests you. She says, you probably say that to all the girls. Most men panic, defend, explain. You just smirk and say, I don't say much. Scenario 2. Online, she leaves you on scene. Most men panic, double text, triple text. You stay calm. Maybe you post something valuable. Or maybe you say nothing. You let your silence do the talking. Scenario 3. She gives less. You give more. Most men overcompensate. You pull back, not to punish her, but to protect your standards. Scenario 4. In public, most men overtalk, overperform. You stay calm, still, focused, and women notice. They notice posture. They notice stillness. They notice presence. That's real attraction. The final lesson now, listen closely, because this is the part most men never understand. If you remember only one thing from this entire video, let it be this: power doesn't chase. Power shapes the room. When you stop trying to convince someone to choose you, and you start moving like someone who is already chosen by yourself, by your mission, by your purpose, everything shifts. She feels it, she notices it, because you're not begging for attention anymore. You're creating gravity. So stop asking, how do I get her to like me? Start asking, how do I move in a way that makes her curious? How do I build myself so strong, so grounded, so stable, that she doesn't even know why she can't stop thinking about me? That's not magic. That's strategy. And once you understand that, attraction will never feel the same again. Closing, if this message spoke to you, write a comment, even just a few words. It helps you remember, and it helps others find clarity too. Hit the like button if you found value here, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. We're not here to play games. We're here to build men who don't break. If you found this story powerful and eye-opening, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Your support helps me share more lessons, strategies, and timeless wisdom for men who want to master themselves and relationships. Stay tuned for more stories that will sharpen your mind and strengthen your frame.